'Cause when the music fades and all is stripped away.
I know a professional baseball player. We are not close friends, but I've known him for about 15 years. When we first met, he had just been drafted by the Padres and was pitching in their single A club at Fort Wayne. He had been a college star, but his advancement slowed in the minors. He spent 3 years rolling around the Padres farm system. Certainly, this time helped season him as an athlete and as a professional ball player, but 3 years is a long time to be in the minors. Farm systems are an advance or get out environment, but he had to wait for a spot to open up on the roster before he received his call. I remember his joy when he got that call, and I remember the joy of his friends and family. I think our expectations ran almost as high as his, and to see him achieve his dream finally was almost as fulfilling as achieving it myself. One thing I remember from that time was how completely his life changed when he got that phone call. He moved, for one thing, from San Antonio, Texas to San Diego, California. His salary got an immediate bump as bonuses and pay grade increases came into effect. He proposed to his girlfriend, since now he'd have the economic means to start a family. He bought his first real car. He got a new condo. He was much harder to reach, although at the same time, he was much more in the public eye. But what struck me most was his training schedule. It had always been rigorous, but now it was all-consuming. Baseball became his life in a way that I had never seen before, and in a way that I'd never seen in anyone else. I think of this guy as I reflect on this week's readings. God's call to Samuel and Jesus' call of the disciples mark a moment of complete transformation in their lives. Everything turned to the service of God. They had new homes, new work, new companions, new goals. For them, discipleship became an all-consuming way of life. The difference, of course, between God and the San Diego Padres is that God calls everyone. On any given day, God calls us to holiness, and we can respond with deeper prayer. God calls us to evangelize, and we can respond with examples of virtue and faith. God calls us to service, and we can respond with corporal and spiritual works of mercy. God will transform our lives completely and eternally the minute that we say yes.
I play college baseball at Young Harris, and been a Catholic my whole life. I grew up with two Catholic parents. And it's always been a part of my life. But one of the things that I went to a Catholic high school as well. I feel like I didn't really understand how the faith has impacted me till about my junior year of high school. It was, I was at a point in my life didn't want to, I was unsure if I want to keep playing baseball. And I remember my parents I remember them just telling me, sleep on it, pray on it. And I remember that night I prayed. I think that was most of the time I've talked to God up until that point in my life. And I feel like he spoke to me and he said, you're not finished yet. And I think that's just one of the great things about God is just you never know what his plan for you is, and you never know how he's going to use you. And I know my story of being able to play college baseball. I know several people that I know that said it inspires me, and it's just the power that you have with to give glory to God about how you overcome so many things. It's just it makes me feel like I'm doing something right and that God is looking out for me.